Right, just been thinking about the whole ways of perceiving the world as a metaphor for a goddess or having a personality or persona. I've had, the Gaia and Medea ideas and the Saturn ideas. It really comes across to me as we're giving the Earth a personality that it doesn't actually have as an intrinsic part of it. Nature exists more, in my opinion, as a result of forces. So life exists because of a chemical reaction, whether you can put a god onto that or whatever, but it's a chemical reaction. It's a need for a chemical to reproduce itself, produces life. That then puts a set of pressures upon it, has a set of pressures put upon it by the environment and then by other forms of life. If we're going to look at things in a mythological sense, no one's yet, to my knowledge, mentioned how the Norse and the Northern Europeans perceived their creation myth. And there was one myth that came out of there which when I think about it, it was the gods, when they were first born, they came out into the world through melting ice. There was fire at one end of this cosmos and ice at the other, and it gradually melted, and the gods were born from that ice. They defrosted from that ice. Where they were before that ice, who knows? But as they were brought into being, so were the giants, which were the gods' eternal enemies. And there was one giant that they went and they killed and they slayed, and that became the earth. Now, the interesting thing about this myth is that human beings aren't created by God. They're created as a result of the killing of that giant. Human beings in all life, so the giant becomes the earth, the bones become the mountains, the flesh becomes the land, the seas are the blood. But the really fascinating thing about this is that all life then of the maggots, the result of that rotting down of that body, they're the maggots, they're the little creatures that feed off this corpse. And it's quite a nice metaphor, because we on this planet, we're not born of this planet. We are born as a result of this planet's existence, but not of this planet. If you see what I mean, we are like the mould on something. We're like a mould on a piece of bread. We're not there because the piece of bread intrinsically wants us to be there. We're actually there because we are trying to cling to survival on that surface of that piece of bread. And the same with Earth. We're like mould on the Earth, and it sounds in some ways a pretty terrible way of looking at the world. But it's this thing that has no. It doesn't matter to the Earth whether we're here or not. It doesn't matter whether life existed or not on the planet. But in fact, we are there as an accident of the planet being in the place it is, where it is. And everything, from the smallest bacteria to us, the smart ones of the planet, are purely there because we are there as a result of placement, time, all these different forces. I think looking at the world as an ecosystem, rather than seeing it as a mythological Earth Mother is a little unhelpful, since what it does is it gives us the idea still that we are in some way special, that no matter what we do, we will be saved. And we have had that attitude for a long time, and we've been screwing up for a long time. I personally see a separation of mankind and nature as possibly a really good thing for nature, because wherever we go, we do things to adapt, and we're like beavers. We go after we adapt our environment to suit us, and it's part of the human experience. We haven't, if you've ever seen Inherit the Wind, there's that speech about we haven't got claws and we haven't got the ability to run fast. The only thing we've got is our heads, our minds, and that's really, if there is a God, that's the only blessing He's given us, is the ability to think. Everything else can outrun us, can outkill us, and certainly can wipe these fragile bodies off the surface of this little planet as quickly as they like. The one thing that saves us is this large brain pan, this head, this ability to think. And we've really got to think about where we are in relation to the rest of the planet. We are not separate from it. It would help if we were. A lot of animals, a lot of things on the planet would stand a better chance of survival if we just said, right, okay, we're gonna only screw up this bit and then leave that bit to you guys. But all we tend to do is we're gonna screw up that bit and take that bit and take that bit, and I guess that's why I'm so behind certain technologies and things like that which are unpopular, because they would separate us off. Okay, thanks for watching.